Apple might be working on an Apple Watch so thin it could completely change how a smartwatch feels on your wrist. Hey guys, Lucifer here. We're talking about a possible Apple Watch Air, and this actually makes perfect sense when you look at Apple's strategy. Apple doesn't just release products, they build clear layers. There's always a budget option, a standard model, a pro version, and then something focused on being thin and lightweight. You see this with the MacBook Air, the iPad Air, and now even the iPhone. But in the Apple Watch lineup, that category is completely missing, and that's exactly where this fits. Now, here's where things get interesting. Based on leaks and renders, the Apple Watch Air could be around 30 to 40% thinner than current models. That's not a small upgrade, that's something you immediately feel. Instead of wearing what feels like a mini computer, it would feel much closer to a piece of jewelry, something you actually forget you're wearing. And that alone could bring in people who've avoided smartwatches just because they feel bulky. But the moment you hear thinner, the real question is what gets sacrificed. And Apple has a very predictable pattern here. Their Air products don't remove everything, they just balance things differently. The MacBook Air skips some high-end display features, the iPad Air uses a slightly older chip, but both still feel complete for most users. So the Apple Watch Air would likely sit between the SE and the Series models. You'd probably get a high-quality display similar to the Series 11, but fewer advanced health sensors, meaning you might miss one or two premium features in exchange for that thinner design. Now let's talk about the part most people worry about: battery life. Because thinner usually means worse battery, but that might not be true this time. Apple has been pushing efficiency hard after acquiring Intel's modem division, and we've already seen new chip developments like the C1 and N1. If Apple brings that same efficiency to the watch, it could still deliver all-day battery life, similar to the Apple Watch SE. And realistically, that's enough for most people since most users charge their watch overnight anyway. There's also a strong chance Apple only offers this in a larger size. That might sound like a limitation, but it actually helps. A bigger case gives more room for battery even in a thinner body, which helps maintain performance without compromising the design too much. Now, before this sounds like it's coming next year, it probably isn't. Apple still needs to fix the iPhone Air strategy first. Right now, that product has too many compromises for its price, like missing basic features while still being expensive. Apple won't want to repeat that mistake with the watch. So realistically, this is something we might see closer to 2027 once they refine the Air lineup properly. And then comes pricing, which is going to decide everything. Right now, the Apple Watch SE sits around $250, and the series models start around $399 to $429. The Watch Air would likely land around $429 to $449, maybe slightly higher for the thinner design. That positioning makes sense because it fills the gap perfectly. But if Apple pushes it to $499 or more, it stops making sense completely because Air products are supposed to feel like a smart balance, not an expensive compromise. So if Apple gets this right, a super thin, lightweight Apple Watch with solid battery and essential features could easily become one of their most popular wearables. But if they remove too much just to achieve that design, it could backfire fast and turn into another iPhone Air situation. And that's why this product is more important than it looks, because if Apple is seriously moving in this direction, it could be setting up something much bigger for the future of wearables. This is Guys Tech, and I will see you in the next one.